please rise for the playing of our country's national anthem. Please remain standing for the Norwood High School alma mater. Thank you. You may be seated. Good evening and welcome to the graduation ceremony for the class of 2013. I'm Brad Winterrod, the principal of Norwood High School, and I would like to personally welcome all parents, grandparents, brothers, sisters, and other family members of the class of 2013. I would also like to welcome the Norwood City Schools Board of Education, Superintendent Amodio, honored guests, and the professional staff of Norwood High School. Well, seniors, you have finally made it. Let me be the first to say congratulations and well done. Senator Orrin Hatch was correct when he said, there's a good reason they call these ceremonies commencement exercises. Graduation is not an end, it's a beginning. Today, as I speak to you one last time as Norwood High School seniors, I would like to leave you with one idea or word, and that is vision. And I truly believe that having a vision for your future will help guide you through the ins and outs of life. It's just as difficult to reach a destination you don't have as it is to come back from a place you've never been. To have good vision, first, you must believe that you can change your situation. Noted motivational speaker and author Zig Ziglar encourages people to eliminate the stinking thinking. Make things happen for you. When I start to think about people changing their situation, I think about the immortal baseball player Peter Gray. As a young man, his overwhelming desire was to play baseball in the major leagues. I'm going to make it all the way to the top, he repeated over and over again. His crowning ambition was to play a game in Yankee Stadium. In 1945, Gray made it to the major leagues with the St. Louis Browns. He only played 1 year in the majors. He was not a regular player, and he never hit a single home run. Nevertheless, Peter Gray should be immortalized because he did make it to the top, despite the fact that he didn't have a right arm. He didn't look down at what he lacked. Instead, he looked up at what he had and decided that he could change his situation. You too are capable of changing your situation. 2, keep the fog from affecting your vision. Don't make the mistake of Florence Chadwick. In 1952, she attempted to swim the frigid ocean waters between the Catalina Island and the California shore. She swam through foggy weather and choppy seas for 15 straight hours. Her muscles began to cramp, she was tired, and her desire to finish began to weaken. She begged to be taken out of the water, but her mother, riding in the boat alongside her, urged her not to give up. She kept trying, but eventually she grew too exhausted and stopped swimming. She was gently lifted out of the water and into the boat. The crew paddled for about 5 more minutes, and then the mist and the fog broke, and Florence discovered she was less than a half-mile away from her objective. All I could see was the fog, she explained at a news conference. I think if I could have seen the shore, I would have made it. Seniors, take a long look at the shore that awaits you, not the obstacles in front of you. The finish may be strokes away. Stay at it, stay in the water, cut through the fog that you are facing, and your vision will come into focus. Last, you need to stay the course. Your vision will most likely take you on some wild goose chases. There will be times of great joy and also times of great sorrow. Right now, you are standing at the crossing point to your future. Everyone watching and waiting to see what your vision looks like. Can you feel the weight of the moment? Your vision for your adulthood starting to take shape. You are about to make a crossing from a child to an adult. Your vision waits for you on the other side. I'm sure you're already feeling overwhelmed by 1,000 reasons why your vision might fail. Those thoughts make perfect sense, but it's time to step out. Don't test the water. Don't tap the water. Don't put your little bitty toe in the water. Strike the water. And watch the world as you know it split open for you. Watch your vision become a reality. Don't second guess yourself or your vision. You are destined for something great. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to introduce our next speaker. This gentleman grew up in Norwood on Webster Avenue, just a few hundred yards from here, attended St. Elizabeth Elementary, where he played football. His 7th and 8th grade football team was the city champs. And if I'm not mistaken, they were unscored upon. Afterward, he attended Norwood High School. He's a Navy veteran. He's a banker, a developer, and an investor. Over the past couple of months, fellow alumnus and lifelong friend Greg Wiles and I have had the opportunity to have lunch with this gentleman. Each time we have lunch with him, he says many times, Norwood High School, what a valuable education he received there. And he asked me, who's going to do your commencement address? And in unison, Greg and I said, well, you are, sir. So he's here this evening, and he's here to speak to the class of 2013. And I hope you listen to his words of wisdom, and I hope you join me in welcoming a warm Norwood welcome for a distinguished alumnus from 1945, Mr. Joe Rippey.
Thank you, Ken. I hope you can hear me clear. I appreciate you inviting me here this evening. I spoke here many times for the Musketeer Annual Athletic Appeal 30, 40 years ago, before this arena, what used to be called the MAAA for Xavier. And I spoke here many times for the BMX program, which was businessmen mobilized for Xavier. And at the time, I was president of the Provident Bank. To bring you a little bit of my background, I was raised right down the street here on Webster Avenue. And we worked very hard. We were very poor. And we had a couple cows and had some horses and did a lot of things that most people don't do. I probably have had the last horses that were ever in Norwood and cows. We did things that a lot of other people didn't do, and went through St. Elizabeth Grade School, Norwood High School. Before I graduated, I went in the Navy. I spent a year in Japan. I was 17, and I was 19, had enough points to get out. I run heavy equipment in Japan with the Navy in the 1st Marine Division. It gave me great experience. Well, I came back to Norwood and got my high school diploma. Had to take a year of American history with a gentleman by the name of Kerry Miller. Wonderful, wonderful teacher. A real legend in Norwood. Maybe some of you have heard of him. In fact, when I was in high school, I sold him 2 horses, and they both got killed in a thunderstorm up in Felicity, Ohio. Wonderful man. And I had a lot of wonderful teachers. A lady by the name of Katie Bridge, Catherine Bridge, we called her Katie, and she used to give me the blazes for calling her Katie. And I used to tell her, Katie, the reason I call you Katie, my mother's name is Kate, my sister's name is Kate. So today I got a granddaughter named Kate, and I got a grandson's wife's named Kate, so I got 4 of them. I'm not a graduate of Yale or Harvard, but I'm a graduate of Norwood, and many of the guys from Yale and Harvard reported to me all my life. I was president of 2 banks. I brought Southern Ohio Bank to Norwood in the 60s, and I spoke at the high school graduation about that time. Most of you probably don't know me or have never heard of me. And a few years later, I took over as president of Provident Bank. And I brought Provident to Norwood and at the Surrey Square Shopping Center, which is now PNC Bank. I developed a lot of land in North Norwood, apartment buildings. Developed some over 2 buildings over on Harper Avenue, and 2 buff brick buildings. They still look very, very good, and that's 60 years old. I took a lot of challenges in my life, and I developed a lot of land all over the city. And just to give you little brief things, we started out and we didn't have anything, and we just worked our way with good, positive thinking positive and doing the right thing, and create an association with many of my Norwood buddies. My first partner in the building business was a man by the name of Phil Painter. He's the father of Judge Painter, Judge Mark Painter, who was in Cincinnati court here, and he was a Court of Appeals judge, wonderful guy. My second partner, Phil Painter, was 4 years ahead of me in Norwood. My second partner is a man by the name of Irv Scharfenberger. We've been partners for 50 years, and he was about 2 years ahead of me in Norwood. So by having the affiliation with the people, the friendship with my fellow men in Norwood has created a lot of good things. I worked for Carl Lindner, who was very, very good to Norwood. Worked with Sandy Hyman, who's also a graduate of Norwood High School, and she was just chairman of the board of the University of Cincinnati, just retired with 9 years. I want to point out to all of you that all the things I did come to kind of the seat of my pants and just went ahead and kind of set my goals in life and dealt with good, clean, honest people, and had a good positive thinking about what I was doing. And each of you here, to me, have better opportunities than I had. There's many things that's happened in Norwood. Norwood's on the upswing. Norwood had some tough times in the days of General Motors and Fisher Body and some of the USU, some of the companies that went out of Norwood. I did some appraising when USU gave their land to Xavier back in 15 or 20 years ago. But the opportunities between the service today and between the computer organizations and the medical, there's more medical movement in Norwood than I ever thought would ever be here. You all have the same opportunities in doing these things, and with good positive thinking, I know a lot of you will do extremely well. Norwood has an excellent reputation today, and it's getting better all the time. You've got a wonderful set of teachers, a good superintendent, and good committees. We've all got to work hard, and it takes a lot of hard work. They used to kid me when I was interviewed many times. How old would you start to work? And I always answered, just about the time I started to walk. I did things when I was young and in Norwood here. We lived on Hopkins Avenue next to the bridge. We played in the coal yard for our play yard, and we moved down to Webster when it was nothing. We've owned a lot of buildings in Norwood, Kenwood, all over the city, and we like to keep them in triple mint condition, owning the real estate we've had. We put a lot of money in remodeling, repairs, and upgrading, and it's paid off. We have the best rental high-rise building and luxury apartments in greater Cincinnati called the Highland Towers of Mount Adams. I bought it 35 years ago with my Norwood buddy, Irv Scharfenberger. And by the way, Irv and Scharfenberger, we've been partners for 50 years. And a wonderful, wonderful partner. And I attribute a lot of it back to what you people are doing at Norwood High School. You know, I've been a great believer in real estate. I like real estate better than I do the stocks and bond market. I hope you hear me clear. I'm sorry if I don't. The real estate, you can kind of set your own goals and follow it yourself without fooling around with the stock market. And it's been awfully good to me. And I would continue to stay in the same way. When I was a kid, to jump around back and forth, we used to walk to Crosley Field from Norwood. From Webster Avenue to Crosley Field, 2-hour walk, quite a walk back. I've been a real estate broker for 60 years. I've been in the cattle business. I've been in the bowling business. I built Brentwood Bowl in 1960. I was an unsuccessful bidder on the Reds in 1961. I developed subdivisions right next to the president of the Cincinnati Reds' home, and I got acquainted with a man by the name of Gabe Paul. We've been very good friends for 50 years, 60 years till his death. But in coming with all these acquaintances, I knew Neil McElroy when he was chairman of the P&G, very fine guy. Bill Stafford and the boys at Western Southern. I sold Southern Iowa Bank to Western Southern, run it for him for 4 years, and took over as president of Provident. Now here I am, a Norwood boy from Webster Avenue, not as well educated as you people out here tonight. I think you've all got wonderful educations and you've got a wonderful future. I'd like to see each one of you really take advantage of it. And stay away from credit cards. I hate credit cards. And it really is, it's a shame that people buy things that they shouldn't buy and things they really don't need. And they should have the money before they buy them. Being a banker, I watch this thing over the years and see people get too far exposed on things they shouldn't be doing. And I'd love to see all of you people take some good thought in going out and buying some things you really don't need, fancy cars and things. I would only hope that people in Washington get smarter. I think we deserve more as students. I look at the gentleman who owns the Celestial Restaurant today. He's a tenant of mine. He's from Sri Lanka. And how they give free education to their people who want to study and have certain grades. We should not be paying 4 or 5 or 6% interest on student loans. They should become an interest-free. We should have companies that where you go to work should be able to pick up some of the student loan payments without you paying income tax on the reduction of your debt. And it's got to be changed in Washington, and Washington's got to wake up. I have a friend whose son is a lawyer, grandson. He's making $100,000 a year in New York, and he can't make it. But paying his income tax on the 100, he's paying $30,000 on his debt to the government. He's paying $30,000 rent. I think he's got $12,000 a year to live on in New York, which is bad. We've got to get some help in Washington, and we got Washington up. The students need help, and they can't go out with $980 billion worth of debt. That's wrong. Anybody who really wants to go to school and work, keep decent grades, deserves a lot better credit than paying 5 or 6% interest. Remember, Uncle Sam's the guy who's going to benefit. When you get that degree, the income tax goes up and they get their money back quick on the income tax. So you folks should benefit better than we got in the legislation in Washington today. I hope I see it in my life that when the debt is absorbed by your employer, that you're not paying income tax on the debt, on your tuition that you're paying the government back on the debt. You know, life is short, and we can't have our people sitting back to be 30 or 35 years old and still be paying $1,500, $1,000 a month on education. I've been very lucky in my life to jump around a little bit. I've been on various boards. I was chairman of the board of the Hamilton County SBCA for 30 years. I had $1 million fundraising for Muller High School at my home. I've helped many churches and many schools. One of the churches I helped was right here at St. Elizabeth. We had a fundraising drive to remodel it in 1980, and we raffled off a Mercedes car. And I was lucky enough to win it and gave it back to them, and it helped make the place a better place, and they stayed going for another 15 years. But we've had a lot of fortunate things happen like that in my life, which I'm able to help different places around, which was very good at the time. You know, I don't know what a lot of you know, West Norwood used to be called Swampoodle Town. If anybody here ever knew that, did you ever know that? Well, that was West Norwood, where we lived, and they used to criticize us all the time. Well, anyway, talking about the debt, we got to get back and get the boys in Washington to wake up. And I've got to think about the credit cards again. I don't want to see anybody here paying 25, 30%. And I don't want to see anybody in these check and go places, because those people ought to be in jail. You know, the college future is best. A lot of you folks are going to be going back and going into service. And of course, the GI Bill is a big help. But of course, the government funding is even a better help. I would only hope that everybody thinks hard, real hard, now that you got your diploma, as to what your future would be and what goals you want to accomplish. Set yourself high and be positive about what you're doing. Think real positive. The word can't, I've never hit in my dictionary. We always thought positive, whatever we were going to do. And I'd like to see all of you have the same feeling. You've got a beautiful crowd of people here in your families. Your mothers and fathers and grandfathers and grandmothers are sitting here. Most of them don't know me, but I just want to pass on the things that I learned, and I learned some of it the hard way, and I've been involved in many things. I went in the cattle business one time with 50 cattle and wound up with 500 up in Mainville. I subdivided the best subdivisions in Warren County. 1,000 houses on one of my farms and 400 houses on my other farm. But all these things you did, you planned ahead and held the real estate and made it happen. I'm not allowed to talk too long, because he told me if he's going to cross his legs and tell me to shut up and get down. But I just want to pass on to you. It's a pleasure to come and talk to you. And I hope I can motivate you and have you think and do better than I did. And don't be afraid to take good chances on solid things and do the right thing. And whatever you do, take care of it and keep it in mint condition. And I want to thank you for letting me come over and talk to you. My time's up, and you're a great crowd, and good luck to all of you.
Thank you, Mr. Rippey. And now it's my pleasure to introduce to you the class president of the class of 2013 and also the class salutatorian, Corey Miracle.
Good evening, and welcome honored guests, friends, family, and my classmates of the class of 2013. It is truly an honor and a privilege to stand before you as your salutatorian and as your class president. It is my hope that I served you well. There is a part of me that is overjoyed to be graduating high school today, but another part of me can't find joy. Our class has always been so caring and supportive of one another. It is hard to leave that support behind. I believe we are truly one of the greatest classes to have ever come through Norwood High School. We led the high school with integrity, intelligence, and kindness. We have set the bar high and will forever be remembered. Our class was the first to bring Ohio State excellence to the Norwood High School with our OGT scores. We joined the SBAAC this year, and we have certainly made our presence known there as well. Our united class has maintained the honor that Norwood High School should always possess. As we leave the shelter of Norwood High School and enter society, I know what we accomplish jointly, we can also accomplish individually. We have left our mark on Norwood, and soon, the world. But there is only one question left to answer. Seniors, what's your number?
2113! 2113! Yeah.
Thank you, Corey. It is again my pleasure to introduce to you the class of 2013 valedictorian, Gregory Bauer.
Congratulations, class of 2013. We made it. Not just to graduation, but through the apocalypse of 2012. No meteors hit the earth, the machines didn't rise up, and the sun didn't explode. Life goes on just as it did before, except for one large adjustment for us. For the last 13 years, Norwood School District has served as the center of our learning, our social lives, and as our home away from home. We have seen each other grow and mature into the young men and women we are today. But after this ceremony, that all changes as we take our first steps into the real world. I'll admit, it can be a daunting endeavor. We face high unemployment, a gigantic national debt, and a planet with an uncertain future. I'm not too worried about those things, though, because I am confident that our generation will meet every challenge with a viable solution. All of my education, I've attended Norwood schools, which has given me the chance to see the brilliance that is in each and every one of you. That's the beauty of Norwood, as it offers so many ways to highlight the variety of talents its students have, whether they're in sports, academics, music, or theater. Our class has been supportive, well-rounded, and shown so much potential in all these areas. However, with that potential comes the responsibility to use it to its fullest. See this graduation not as the goal, but as the stepping stone to greater things ahead. The possibilities of what the members of this class can achieve are endless, That is why it is never okay to accept the status quo or the goals already achieved. Einstein wasn't okay with just being a patent clerk. The Wright brothers weren't content just to work on bicycles. And Martin Luther King Jr. didn't just stop when he became a minister. No, these men wanted more. They wanted to change the world for the better and did. We are all capable of that. There's no doubt that we have left our mark on Norwood. Now let's turn our attention to the history books. The world did not end in 2012. No, quite the opposite. It was just the beginning.
Thank you, Greg. And now I'd like to introduce to you the Superintendent of the Norwood City Schools, Mr. Amodio.
I would like to begin this evening by thanking everyone in attendance. What a great day to be a Norwood Indian. We gather tonight to honor the graduates of the class of 2013, the 114th class to graduate from Norwood High School. Before I speak to the students seated before me, I would like to take a moment to recognize the rich heritage and proud tradition of Norwood High School. I would like to ask that all past graduates of Norwood High School please stand and remain standing for a moment. Please remain standing. Seniors, take a moment and look around you at everyone standing this evening. They have blazed an incredible trail and established amazingly high expectations for each of you. Would everyone please give a great round of applause for all of our proud alumni from the Norwood High School. Thank you. Now to our seniors. Take a moment to think of someone this evening, a parent, a friend, a family member, a teacher, or a coach who played a critical or motivating role in helping you get to this day, your graduation. Many of these people who you are thinking of are in attendance tonight. How do you ever thank them for everything that they've done for you? How do you ever pay them back? It is very difficult, nearly impossible to pay someone back. The famous poet Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "You can pay back seldom, but you can always pay forward. And you must pay forward line for line, deed for deed, and cent for cent." But it brings to the true question of how do you actually pay forward? I'm a firm believer that to whom much is given, much is expected. As you've heard several people this evening already say, each of you here today has been blessed with amazing talents, gifts, and abilities in a multitude of areas. I believe that the greatest characteristic of any member of our society is their desire and willingness to simply work in service to others. For it is the responsibility of all of those in our society with great talents and abilities to use such blessings to help those around them. One look at the actions of our country when other nations suffer earthquakes, tsunamis, and other natural disasters, or when those within our own country experience disasters such as the recent tornado devastation in Oklahoma, our nation, the greatest nation on earth, immediately provides aid and support to others without hesitation. We in our own lives have the same responsibility to help others. Again, always remember, it is very, very difficult to pay others back. Yet if we focus on service to others, we can always pay forward. So this evening, I would like to leave you with several thoughts. How can each of you use your extraordinary talents to help others? How can each of you learn to and actually pay forward? You can do this by simply doing great things, providing service, love, and help to those around you. For everyone in attendance tonight are simply counting on you. This is paying forward. Congratulations. Thank you guys, and God bless.
Thank you, Mr. Amodio. And our last speaker tonight is Mr. Ken Miracle, the President of the Norwood Board of Education.
Good evening. On behalf of the Norwood Board of Education, welcome Norwood High School class of 2013 and your many family and friends. We're gathered here to celebrate you and your accomplishments. All of you have put forth a great deal of effort to accomplish your goal, your high school diploma. Henry Ford said, "There is no happiness except in the realization that we have accomplished something." You should be very happy with yourselves today and know that the entire Norwood community shares in your happiness. As you leave Norwood High School and begin the next chapter in your lives, I want to encourage you to continue setting goals for yourself. Take the time to seriously consider what is that you want from life, then put forth the effort to obtain it. Whether you want to go to college, trade school, join the workforce, whatever your personal goal, put forth the effort to be the best that you can be. If you've done your best, you can be pleased with your effort and have few regrets. I would like to speak to you for a few moments regarding the value of education. Simply put, education pays. Statistics show that a college degree correlates directly to your salary range, and to the relationship between compensation and education level is becoming even more prominent. By 1975, full-time workers with a bachelor's degree had 1.5 times the annual earnings of workers with a high school diploma. By 2012, this ratio had edged up to 1.8 times. As our society continues to evolve, education has become the optimal route to professional success. Pursuing a degree is the best way to receive training, to gain expertise in a given field, and even guide you and help make choices about your career. Today, a formal, focused education is an essential ingredient. Employers have increasingly used diplomas and degrees as a way to screen applicants. Once you've landed the job you want, your salary will reflect your credentials. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, a high school graduate can expect to earn $1.3 million over the course of their working life. An associate degree over the same period of time averages $1.73 million. A bachelor's degree, and you will net $2.2 million over your working life. Add a master's degree, $2.67 million. A professional degree, $3.65 million. According to James Marasotis, president and CEO of Lumina Foundation, a nonprofit organization focused on America's number of college graduates, he's quoted as saying, "The payoff from getting a college degree is huge and is actually increasing." For people wondering, is it worth it? Not only is it worth it, but the premium is growing. I implore you to consider carefully your plans, and I hope they include continuing your education. On behalf of the Norwood Board of Education, I congratulate the Norwood High School class of 2013, and I wish you continued success. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Miracle. And it is now time for the presentation of diplomas and the certification of graduates. Cora Elizabeth Miracle. Her diploma will be given to her by her father, Mr. Ken Miracle. Gregory William Bauer. Michael Wayne Alford. Elizabeth Dawn Allison. Jonathan Ramon Biggers. Jamie Lynn Barber. Her diploma will be given to her by her cousin, Catherine Roberts. Jacob Cornelius Bowling. Brittany Diane Begley. Robert James Boston. Kelly Nicole Brady. Justin Robert Braden. Heather Nicole Brumley. Maurice Bridges. Destiny Lane Bridges. Devin Edward Braden. Caitlin Marie Bernard. Justin Paul Borgenminke. Jessica Nicole Barker. Austin Paul Blackburn. Courtney Ann Maria Ayers. John Hillman Bennett III. Becca Ray Adams. Donald Paul Britt Jr. Kristen Marie Campbell. Bradley Scott Burgess. Maya Adore Collins. Austin William Carter III. Mackenzie Ryan Cowens. Jonathan William Dellinger. Shema Dobbs. Kyle Scott English. Gabrielle Lavelle Dyson. Jeremy Lee Evans. Caitlin Nicole Daniel. Zachary Thomas Edwards. Tiffany Nicole Croucher. Sean Allen Clark. Laura Marie Connolly. Curtis Wayne Carey. Delisa Trinae Chenault. Matthew Patrick Brown. Sarah Elise Bryce. Jacob Garin Faulkner. His diploma will be given to him by his father, Scott Faulkner. Sydney Aaron Elliott. Joanne Carla Feast. Brandon Marshall Hubbard. Paige Celeste Gearhart. Kayla Marie George. Quentin Patrick King. Candace Whitney Gabriella Girdler. Saline Shelby Hale. Zachary Aaron Mayfield. Kayla Green Goodwin. Christopher Allen Kreiner. Taylor Marie Gideon. Her diploma will be given to her by her mother, Christine Gideon. Michael Edward Kennebrew. Natalie Mary Geiger. Isaac Joel Jackson. Christian Alexander Harrington. Anna Marie Fathman. Vladimir Godinez. Paige Renee Elliott. Hannah Elizabeth Hale. Connor Christian McFerrin. Melinda Rose Harlow. Eduardo Oros Contreras. Alicia Brooke Helton. Noah Wellington Payne. Joyce Lee Jackson. Daniel Anthony Petticord. Amber Lynn Hoskins. Jacob Edward Ottaway. Haley Morgan Hegedus. Andrew Tyler McSorley. Diamond Marie Hall. Kyle David McDonald. Teresa Marie Hajar. Her diploma will be given to her by her mother, Yola Friend. Patrick Thomas Mattingly. Eric Boyd Fowl. Kayla Abigail Krieger. Jonathan Maxwell Rankin. Peyton Tekoa Kenny. Morgan Ann Love. Caleb Joseph Shermer. Jordan Lee Mallon. Timothy James Riley Shepard. Ashley Danielle Martin. Kevin John Steele. Alexandria Alexis Messer. Lamont Senior Steele. Ryan Patrick Sorrell. Melissa Ann Marksberry. Maximilian Edgar Schneider. Jade Elizabeth Marie Lai. Gabrielle Judah Christian Rice. Lindy Eris Latham. Alexander John Raleigh. Maxwell Holden Smith Stith. Hannah Marie Monholland. Madison Lindsay Moore. Robert Town. His diploma will be given to him by his mother, Sandy Town. Alicia Jewel Peace. Megan Ann Privet. Brittany Dawn Shanahan. Chloe Ann Singleton. Kendall Marie Taylor Stoltz. Kristen Ray Tackett. Brianna Nicole Smith. Amanda Maria Shepard. Paige Jaden Angel Rudd. Her diploma given to her by her aunt, Tammy Faust. LaRondrick Rivon Williams. Catherine Joni Patterson. David Torres Quinto. Cynthia Ramirez. Ernesto Tapia Valdez. Morgan Elizabeth Miller. Kayla Mae Thompson. Quinn Alexandria Scholastica Webster. Amy Lynn Wiles. Christina Carol Wolf. Justin Kassam. Miguel Timmerding. Sierra Leanne Marie McCormick. Would the class of 2013 please stand? Mr. President, it is my pleasure to announce to you that the students in the graduating class of 2013 have met all the requirements of the state of Ohio, and they have met all of the requirements of the Norwood City Schools, and they are ready to graduate. Students, on Corey's count. Congratulations, graduates, the class of 2013. Thank you. This concludes our ceremony.
Hey, y'all going to this